what you're looking at here is the Tit Torture catalog, and this little presentation here is going to be of an adult nature, so if that's not your thing, this is your opportunity to get out of here. For those that remain, this is an important piece of psychedelic lore and a significant part of my childhood. And the reason why I'm doing this exercise today is because I've created something to enshrine that in the annals of the psychedelic toy universe. But before I reveal the product, I just want to explain to people who might not know, this was my mother's business from the years 1978 to, I believe, 1984. After my parents got divorced, my mother needed a way to make money, and she shacked up with this other woman, and they were both very creative, artsy people who had no idea how to fucking earn a living, and they wanted to do art things for money and to start some kind of tchotchkela business, as they called it. So they went down to Canal Street and they bought little bits of bric-a-brac, when you can still do that, and they put together a bunch of little cute, punky, pop culture-y kind of little assemblages. Think like leather and rubber straps with little water guns attached to them. It was fucking stupid shit. They used to make little things out of plexiglass boxes, little jewelry. It was all crap. None of it made much sense, and nobody really bought any of it until they came upon this. Now, all this really was a couple of alligator clips, which have various industrial and electronic purposes, and they put them on a chrome chain. And this was like when punk was becoming a thing, and they thought, oh, these are like little chains that you can attach to your leather jacket or whatever. And they went and they tried to sell these things, and well, they didn't get any real action out of it until they went into this store, which is still there in the West Village, called the Pleasure Chest, which is like an adult, sex shop. And the guy took one look at this and said, oh, nipple clamps, great, we'll take 2 gross. And my mom and her girlfriend looked at each other and said, what the fuck is a nipple clamp? And with a little research, they went and discovered that it was an accoutrement, an accessory to S&M play that happened to be very popular at the time with the gay Leatherman community. So they set about producing this product. Now, my father was too broke to pay alimony, so my mother cut him a deal. He was a very clever man, an engineer, and she wanted to make the highest quality nipple clamp that the world has ever seen. Up until this point, the leather S&M community was not being entirely served by the industry. A lot of the equipment that they used for their nipple play games was of an inferior quality, nothing more than just like clothespin spray painted black with a little leather strap stapled to it. But my father, being a genius, he was able to come up with this mechanism, which is the adjustable feature. You see this screw here, which adjusts the tension of the clamp, and then they added these 2 rubber clips, high quality chrome chain, etc., etc. And those of you who have ever played with nipple clamps, if you're in the S&M world, my parents invented this feature. They didn't invent the nipple clamp, they perfected it, and the adjustable feature can be directly traced to my family. But anyway, this business was wildly successful, and this was before the internet, so it was all mail order, and they created this catalog called Tit Torture, Fantasy and Function, catalog for all degrees. And I can't show too much of it here, but you can see it's all sort of hand-drawn, and it was all these situations in which these clamps were utilized in fantasy play scenarios. I've scanned and uploaded this entire catalog onto my OnlyFans page, by the way. Let me know if you want the link for that. This is a Drummer magazine, which was the preeminent gay leather magazine of the time. I can show you absolutely nothing in here, but I guarantee you it's quite raunchy and quite explicit. And these are the things that I grew up around. You see here is my mother's advertisement. It says, the big daddy of tit clamps has got himself a brand new boy. I guess they introduced a slightly smaller one. You can see these prices are like $6. And then there's all kinds of articles in here about fisting and poppers and fantasy stories. And these things were just laying around the fucking house when I was growing up. And I never thought a damn thing about it. In fact, in a lot of ways, this and this and Star Wars are like about as baked into the cake as they could possibly be. Now here are some of their wares. There's this rubber collar. This is just made out of a rubber strap that they bought at Canal Rubber with a little ring attached to it. And then various styles of nipple clamps here. We got them in different colors. We got black, we've got chrome. This was a failed one, this like rubber, this red, like sort of red one. This one isn't adjustable and has a serrated edge. It looks terrible. Everything that this company produced was made by hand on a workbench by two gay ladies in a brownstone in Brooklyn Heights. There's absolutely nothing industrial about it at all. A true cottage industry. And I think it definitely had an influence on the way that I produce my own work. And the reason why I'm telling you all of this is because I'm going to be doing a little bit more adult themed work in the future, and I feel it's important to give a little bit of context as like how I came to that and what the provenance of that is. This isn't just something I've just come to later in life. It's been part of my life since I was a child, and I remember easy access to pornography. There was porn on TV. I used to watch Robin Bird and Al Goldstein on Channel J on Manhattan Cable. And my mother never prevented me or made any effort to prevent me from seeing all of this stuff. In fact, sometimes when I'd be home from school, sick in bed, she'd go out and she'd buy me Hustler magazine and didn't think anything of it. And I don't think I came out any worse for it. In fact, I think I'm better for it because I have a relatively healthy attitude towards sex, a healthy sex life, and I'm extremely open-minded and tolerant person when it comes to all different types of proclivities. And it's an essential part of being a human being. And it's just like, I feel like, you know, there's always these continuing arguments in the culture about, is this good for kids? Is it bad for kids? I don't know. Should it be censored? Is it covered by the First Amendment? I don't know. All I'm saying is I just think that these are natural impulses that people have. And I think the suppression of pornography is probably way more harmful to the individual and society than the proliferation of it. So I'm going to do my job to proliferate it a little bit. And to commemorate, we are offering a brand new piece. This is the Tit Torture bootleg figure. You can see it's just the catalog itself with a little model. I'm sorry, I got to cover this. Of a torso wearing the nipple clamps, which is just a riff on the cover. And I didn't put a head on it because I thought it was interesting to sort of just reduce it and abstract it to just like the torso of the body. Now women can use these things, but these were definitely aimed towards gay men. And these are available for a limited time on my website, SuperSuckStore.com. Get them while you can. And this business went on from 1978 to about 1984, when my mother's friendship fell apart, and unfortunately the AIDS epidemic almost completely decimated their customer base. This is an inextricable feature of my psychological and aesthetic makeup, and I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge it and lean into it and make artwork about it. Now, I'm about to try these on, and I'm not going to show that here on Instagram. If you want to watch, then you can sign up for my OnlyFans, where I'm going to post it. And if you want the link to that, just send me a direct message. All right, here I go.